My name is Lauren Pierce, and I'm 35 years old. Have you ever been erased from your own family story? Last week, at my father's retirement gala, the pinnacle of his 30-year career as a prestigious school principal, I was literally removed from the VIP table in front of 200 guests, not for causing a scene or arriving late, but for being just an elementary school teacher who apparently embarrassed the family, while his new stepdaughter, a corporate lawyer, took my seat and my promised position on a $5 million education fund board. I stood there shaking, humiliated beyond words, but what happened next changed everything. When my quiet, unassuming husband stepped up to the microphone, the entire ballroom fell silent. What he revealed about who he really was transformed the room in under 60 seconds. The look on my father's face, the gasps from the crowd, and my stepmother's champagne glass hitting the floor are etched in my memory. If this is being watched, subscribe and share where it's being watched from. Hearing from anyone who's faced family rejection for not being successful enough matters, and those messages are read closely. Now, let me take you back to that night. The crystal ballroom at the Grand View Hotel sparkled with significance, chandeliers casting golden light over round tables dressed in ivory linens, each crowned with white orchids that probably cost more than my weekly groceries. This wasn't just any retirement party, it was Robert Pierce's grand finale, and he had ensured everyone who mattered in the education world would witness it. My husband Marcus and I arrived 15 minutes late thanks to highway traffic. I smoothed the navy dress, the nicest I owned, bought 3 years ago for my teaching award, while Marcus, sharp in a simple black suit, checked his phone more than usual. "Everything okay with work?" I asked as we entered, and he squeezed my hand. "Just some last-minute details, nothing to worry about," while the room of at least 200 swelled with school board members, principals, major donors, and education reporters beneath a banner celebrating Principal Robert Pierce, 30 years of educational excellence. My father stood by the entrance in a charcoal Tom Ford suit that probably cost 3 months of my salary. Beside him, Patricia, his wife of 4 years, glittered in a gold sequined gown, her diamond necklace catching the light with every practiced laugh. They looked like they belonged on a magazine cover. "Lauren!" Dad's voice boomed when he spotted us, smile not quite reaching his eyes. "You made it! Of course, Dad wouldn't miss your big night." Patricia's gaze swept my dress with thinly veiled disappointment. "How nice of you to come. Jessica's been here an hour already, networking with the board. Jessica, Patricia's daughter, the successful one. And when I started, the traffic was—" Patricia slid in smoothly. "No excuses. Let's get you to your table," as the local news crew set cameras near the stage. Marcus's phone buzzed again, his expression unreadable, and something about this night felt different. The smile Patricia kept fixed, the way my father avoided eye contact, the way Marcus held his phone like he was waiting on something. The place cards at the VIP table gleamed like tiny verdicts. I scanned twice, then a third time: Robert Pierce, Patricia Pierce, Jessica Morrison, David Chen, board members, major donors, no Lauren Pierce. "There must be some mistake with the seating," I said lightly. Patricia appeared at my elbow, smile sharp as crystal. "Oh, didn't Robert tell you? We had to make last-minute adjustments, space constraints, you understand? 8 chairs, 7 cards, 1 empty seat right next to Jessica, her manicured hand resting on its back as she chatted with David Chen, the fund board chair. "But I'm his daughter," I said quietly. "Of course you are, dear. You're at table 12 right over there." Patricia pointed to a back table half hidden behind a pillar with other district teachers. "You'll have so much in common." Marcus's jaw tightened. "This is her father's retirement dinner." "And we're so glad you both could come," Patricia flowed on, already turning. "Jessica, darling, tell Mr. Chen about your latest case win." Jessica looked up with a perfect smile. "Oh, Lauren didn't see you there. Don't you look comfortable?" She let her eyes sweep my 3-year-old dress. "I was just telling everyone about my promotion to senior associate youngest in the firm's history." My father approached, straightening his tie. "Dad, why am I not at your table?" He shifted. Patricia thought it would be better for networking if Jessica sat there. She has connections that could benefit the fund. You understand, it's just business. Marcus asked where I was supposed to sit. Table 12 is perfectly fine, Dad said without meeting my eyes. Many distinguished educators there, code for the people who didn't matter enough for the VIP table, while Jessica's laugh rang as she touched David's arm, discussing corporate sponsorships. Marcus's phone vibrated. He glanced, and something flickered. Was that satisfaction? Come on, I whispered, tugging him. Let's just go to table 12. But inside I felt demoted in my own family hierarchy. Table 12 felt like exile. Patricia's voice carried over the strings. This is Jessica, my daughter's senior associate at Foster & Associates. She just won a multi-million-dollar case for the Peterson Foundation. Pause. Then, oh, and that's Robert's daughter, Lauren, heading to the back. She teaches elementary at Hess 48, the public one. The way she said public, sounding like a diagnosis. Marcus's hand found mine under polyester cloth, a far cry from the VIP table's silk. 5 other teachers sat around best clothes, bargain seats at a premium event. "3rd grade, right?" asked Mrs. Chen. "A middle school math teacher. I heard you won Teacher of the Year." "I did," I smiled. "Wonderful," she said, and the unspoken hung there. Wonderful didn't get you a VIP place. Across the room, Jessica held court in confident tones. Every few minutes, Patricia gestured toward her. My daughter, the successful one. My father worked the room. I counted 12 introductions for Jessica in 15 minutes. He passed our table twice without stopping. Marcus squeezed my hand. His phone lit with a message. I caught a glimpse. "Confirmation received. Ready when you are." "What's that?" "Just work," he said. But there was something in his tone. "How are you holding up?" "I'm fine," I lied. "No, you're not, and you shouldn't have to be," he said. From the VIP table, another choreographed laugh as Patricia bragged loud enough for our corner. Jessica's Harvard law degree. "We're just so proud. It takes real ambition to reach those heights." Mrs. Chen murmured, "Family events can be complicated." I nodded, watching my father beam at Jessica as she showed him something on her phone, probably her bonus while in my desk drawer. 28 handmade thank you cards waited. Marcus typed something quickly, then put his phone away. "Whatever you're planning, don't," I whispered. "It's not worth it." He kissed my temple. "You're always worth it." The lights dipped as my father tapped the mic. 200 faces turned. "Thank you for joining us." He began with that principal's authority acknowledgments for the board, peers, donors, and then the personal section. "I'm blessed with a wonderful family," he said, gesturing to the VIP table. "My beautiful wife, Patricia, my rock, and I'm especially proud to have Jessica Morrison here, whom I've come to think of as my own." As my own. He rolled her resume. Harvard Law Summa, youngest senior associate, ambition, excellence, the drive to reach the top. The applause was enthusiastic. Jessica stood waving, her red dress catching the light. The photographer clicked. I waited. He moved on. That was it. The other daughter, the one who followed him into education, didn't merit a mention. Mrs. Chen touched my arm. I surprised myself sounding steady. Inside, memories surged. Dad missing my college graduation because Patricia planned a cruise, forgetting my birthday twice. A Christmas where Jessica's promotion devoured the evening while my teaching award went unmentioned. "He didn't call back the night you told him, did he?" Marcus asked. "No." On stage, Dad told a funny first-day story. The crowd laughed warmly. He was charming, commanding, everything a leader should be, everything a father should be, except to the daughter who chose passion over prestige. Dad's expression shifted to the major announcement. "As you know, the Hamilton Education Fund has received a generous $5 million commitment from Tech Edu Corporation," he said. Appreciative murmurs rolled. "This fund will provide scholarships and resources for emerging educational leaders, and tonight I'm thrilled to announce who will take my seat on the board when I retire." My breath caught the position he'd promised me 3 years ago. After careful consideration, I'm delighted to announce that Jessica Morrison will be joining the board as my successor. Applause erupted. Jessica rose, smoothing her red dress, waving like she'd won an Oscar. Patricia dabbed precise tears. I sat frozen. 3 years of preparation, 2 years of research into teacher scholarships, countless proposals gone. Her legal expertise and corporate connections will help the fund grow beyond anything we imagined, he said. Marcus's hand gripped mine. That position was yours. I know, I whispered. This seat oversaw nearly $500,000 annually in teacher scholarships priorities, recipients, the future. And Jessica was already telling someone about leadership development and administrative advancement. Nothing about classroom tools or retention. A text from Marcus. Need you to trust me. Something important is about to happen. Another. Watch David Chen. Patricia's voice drifted about real innovation, not charity drives. I stood and walked to the VIP table. Dad, we need to talk. Not now, he snapped. Yes, now. You're making a scene, Patricia iced. Are we not celebrating education tonight? I kept my tone professional. That position was promised to me 3 years ago. Circumstances change, he said. Real-world experience, Patricia added. I teach 28 8-year-olds, buy supplies with my own money, work 60 hours for $40,000. How much more real does it get? Nearby phones rose to record. This is embarrassing, Dad hissed. You need to leave. What's embarrassing is giving an education board seat to someone who's never set foot in a classroom. Security? Patricia signaled. 2 guards moved. I'm going, I said, backing away. But everyone should know Robert Pierce just chose networking over knowledge, connections over compassion. His legacy isn't education, it's opportunism. Get out, he barked. You're no longer welcome here. That won't be necessary. A calm voice cut through. Marcus appeared, steady as a lighthouse. We're leaving voluntarily. First, Mr. Pierce, do you know who your primary sponsor actually is? Some tech executive. What does that matter? Dad said. Very interesting, Marcus murmured. Phones streamed. This is what happens when you can't accept your limitations, Patricia called. Some people are meant for greatness, Jessica added. Others are meant for simpler things. There's no shame in being ordinary, Lauren. Anyone can stand in front of a classroom, I said quietly. Not everyone can teach. There's a difference. Security, escort them out, Dad ordered. Let him speak, David Chen said, halting the guards. Marcus typed, David, check your email, then guided me toward the exit. Robert, we need to talk now. David's urgent voice rose. At the doors, Marcus stopped, turned, and took the stage. One quick question. Tech Edu's $5 million is impressive. Do you know much about Tech Edu? What kind of question is that? Patricia shrieked. Security. But David raised a hand. This is relevant. Marcus continued. Tech Edu specializes in ed-tech for underserved schools. We believe every child deserves quality education regardless of zip code. Founded by someone whose mother was a public school teacher who paid for supplies and worked weekends, he'd promised to support teachers with real resources, not photo ops. He looked at my father. That founder believed teachers like Lauren who stay late tutoring, build innovative curricula in summers, see potential where others see problems, deserve more than a seat at the back. Point? Dad demanded, his edge slipping. Values alignment, Marcus said. Funding comes with specific conditions about leadership, David Chen typed, alarm sharpening his face. Strange you didn't review the terms carefully, Marcus added. Dad went pale. You can't be. Section 7. 3. Marcus read. Fund management must prioritize classroom educator experience. Section 7. 4 board composition preferring active teachers. Shall I continue? Ridiculous, Jessica laughed thinly. I'm simply reading a binding contract Mr. Pierce signed 6 weeks ago, Marcus replied. David handed Dad the document. He blanched further. Tech Edu reserves the right to withdraw funding if these conditions aren't met, Marcus said. You set us up, Patricia hissed. We offered $5 million with clear conditions. You assumed details didn't matter, Marcus answered. The Tech Edu logo on the backdrop suddenly felt louder. "This is entrapment," Jessica snapped. "It's contract law your specialty, so you'll appreciate Section 12. 1, Marcus said. "Any public announcement of board positions without sponsor approval constitutes breach." The room buzzed. Phones were up. "Did council review?" David asked. "Jessica reviewed," Patricia said. "I skimmed it," Jessica admitted. "A $5 million contract and you skimmed it," David said, arctic. Marcus stepped back. "Mr. Chen, you have leadership decisions to make. We'll await your response." The room detonated, David calling an emergency meeting, Patricia screaming at Jessica, my father frozen, staring at the contract. The Tech Edu logo seemed to glow brighter. Patricia's composure shattered. She grabbed the mic. "This is manipulation. This man has been deceiving us. Olivia probably planned this." "Planned what?" I asked. "Planned to be humiliated? To be called an embarrassment?" "You are an embarrassment," Patricia spat. "A teacher making $40,000, driving a 10-year-old Honda, shopping at Target. Do you know how it looks when Jessica and I have to explain you at the country club?" The room gasped. "And you?" She turned on Marcus. "Pretending to be a nobody when I'm what?" he asked calmly. "A successful man who loves his wife, who's proud she shapes young minds, who believes her work matters more than any corporate deal." "This doesn't change anything." Jessica grabbed the mic. "I have the qualifications, the connections. Name one educational theory, one classroom management technique, one learning disability accommodation," I said. Silence. "That's what I thought." "Experience doesn't matter when you have talent," Jessica snapped. "Some people are born leaders, others are just teachers." "Olivia has always lacked ambition," my father finally said. "She settled for less. I pushed her toward law school, business school, anything with prestige. But she chose this." "You're right," I said. "I chose this. I chose to wake up and make a difference. To be the person kids run to. To choose meaning over money." "How convenient your husband's money lets you play teacher," Patricia sneered. "My wife has never taken a penny from Tech Edu," Marcus said quietly. "She doesn't even know the full extent of— Actually, it's time everyone knew who deserves respect in this room." He walked back to the stage. No one stopped him. "Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement," he said, standing with quiet confidence. "My name is Marcus Pierce," he began. "Yes, I took my wife's last name. She doesn't know this, but it was to honor the only Pierce who truly understands education. 5 years ago, I watched my wife come home in tears after spending her paycheck on books. That same night, she stayed up until 3 drafting individualized learning plans. That's when I decided to build something to support teachers like her," he said. "Every CEO, every lawyer, every successful person starts with a teacher, someone who stayed late and believed. We forget them. We achieve success. And suddenly, teachers become embarrassments, not impressive enough for our galas, not worthy of our VIP tables." "This is grandstanding," Patricia protested. "No, this is truth," Marcus replied. "Olivia has touched more lives in 1 year of teaching than most of us will in entire careers. Students write years later. Parents credit her with changing trajectories. But tonight she wasn't good enough for the family table." He projected a photo, my classroom student art, achievement certificates, thank you letters. "This is what real success looks like, what actually matters," he said. "And if Robert Pierce can't see that, if he values networking over knowledge, prestige over purpose, then he doesn't deserve what Tech Edu offers." "You can't withdraw funding over personal issues," Jessica called. "I'm not withdrawing over personal issues," Marcus said. "I'm withdrawing over values misalignment Section 3. 2. The sponsor may redirect funds if the recipient fails to demonstrate commitment to classroom educator support." "Redirect where?" David asked. Marcus looked at me, love and pride unmasked. "To someone who actually deserves it. Properly, I'm Marcus Pierce, founder and CEO of Tech Edu Corporation." The ballroom erupted, gasps, scraping chairs, camera shutters. "Impossible," Patricia stammered. "You drive a Civic, shop at Costco." "I do," Marcus said, "because I'd rather put money into classrooms than status symbols." "You've been lying to us for 7 years," my father whispered. "I never lied. You never asked. You assumed a quiet man who supports his teacher wife must be unsuccessful," Marcus said. Jessica's phone rang, her face drained. "That was managing partner Richardson Foster and Associates wants to discuss reputation risk," she said numbly. "The live stream just hit 50,000 views," someone called. "It's trending." Tech Edu is withdrawing all funding from the Hamilton Education Fund effective immediately, Marcus said, eyes on my father. "You can't, we have a contract," Dad roared, "which you violated announcing Jessica without sponsor approval. Your own lawyer should have caught that." "Oh, wait," he glanced at Jessica. "Furthermore, I'm establishing a new fund, the Lauren Pierce Excellence in Teaching Foundation, $5 million managed by actual educators for actual educators." The teachers at table 12 started applauding, then table 11, soon half the room, the back tables, the ordinary people who knew what mattered. "David," Marcus addressed Chen, "I'd like you to consider chairing the new foundation." "I'd be honored," David said. "This is theft," Patricia screamed. "We'll sue." "Please do," Marcus said calmly. "The publicity will be wonderful. Principal's wife calls teachers embarrassments." My father stood slowly, dignity in tatters. "Lauren, you've ruined everything," he said. But I looked only at my husband, the man who revealed himself as my fiercest protector. "Effective immediately," Marcus announced, voice like a gavel. "Tech Edu withdraws all funding from the Hamilton Education Fund." Thunder rolled through the room, 5 million gone in one sentence. "You're punishing children," Jessica accused. "No, I'm redirecting resources to people who understand education. The contract requires fund support classroom educators. Giving control to someone who's never taught violates our mission," Marcus said. "She was going to learn," Patricia pleaded. "From whom? The teacher you called an embarrassment?" Marcus replied. "Mr. Pierce," David spoke. "Decision made. The board must reconvene immediately. Jessica's appointment is void without funding." "You all planned this," Patricia spat. "We planned nothing," I said. "You built this with your choices, every insult, every slight, every time you made me feel worthless." My father's shoulders sagged. In 60 seconds he'd gone from celebrated principal to the man who lost 5 million through arrogance and nepotism. "Please," he said softly, "the fund helps hundreds of teachers." "And it still will," Marcus said, "just not under your name, under leadership that sees teachers as professionals." A reporter asked if this was personal. "Values matter," Marcus said. "If you can't respect teachers, you shouldn't control teacher funding." "Before we leave," Marcus said, returning to the mic, "I'm announcing the Lauren Pierce Excellence in Teaching Foundation, $5 million dedicated to supporting classroom educators, grants for supplies, continuing education, mental health support for burnout." He looked at me. "It will be chaired by someone who knows what teachers need because she is one." "You want me to?" "If you'll accept," he said. "I never told you about Tech Edu because I wanted you to love me for me, not for this." "I know," I whispered. "It's not competing," Marcus told Patricia. "Your fund no longer exists without funding. This replaces it." "For what it's worth," David added. "Board members who care about education would be honored to serve under Mrs. Pierce's leadership." Teachers rose, support staff, parents, half the room standing, the people who knew what mattered. "Additionally," Marcus said, "Tech Edu will match any donation tonight dollar for dollar." Phones came out, $10,000 from the union, $20,000 from the PTA. Within minutes, pledges hit $300,000 matched to over $500,000 beyond the base funding. "This won't stand. There are legal implications," Jessica said weakly. "Agreed," Marcus said, like how a senior associate missed crucial terms costing a client $5 million. Her phone rang again. She stared, didn't answer. "Mrs. Pierce," David addressed me formally, "would you accept the position of founding chair?" I looked at my father, defeated, at his VIP table, then at Marcus, who protected me while respecting my independence. "I accept." Jessica's phone wouldn't stop. Finally, she answered, "Yes, Mr. Richardson, I understand. The live stream, I know. Tomorrow morning." She hung up shaking. Our biggest education client saw it. They're reconsidering. What did you expect? Mrs. Chen asked. You insulted an entire profession. Teachers are parents, voters, clients. Patricia clutched her. We'll fix it. Issue a statement, say you were misquoted. It's live streamed. Mom 50,000 views and climbing. Legal blogs already picked it up. Lawyer who skimmed $5 million contract calls teachers worthless, Jessica said. A text. State Bar wants to discuss public conduct. Demeaning educators violates ethics standards. Actions have consequences, Marcus said. You built your ascent on stepping on others. Now they're stepping back. If you just accepted your place, Patricia hissed at me. Her place, Marcus cut in, is wherever she chooses to stand. And tonight, she stands as head of a foundation that will actually help teachers. Robert, David said, the board needs your resignation by Monday given tonight. Your continued involvement is problematic. My father stared at the tablecloth. For what it's worth, I said quietly. I never wanted this. I wanted to be included, valued. Have you be proud. I was proud, he rasped. I just wanted more. More than shaping the future? More than being loved by 28 kids? That's not more, that's just different. By the time we left, the video had gone viral, 2 million views in 3 hours. Teachers deserve respect, trended nationally. My phone overflowed. Former students, fellow teachers, parents. The internet never forgets, Marcus said as we watched numbers climb. Fallout was swift. Screenshots of Patricia calling teachers embarrassments became memes. Jessica's "meant for greatness" line ended up on protest signs outside Foster and Associates by morning. Dad's 30-year reputation collapsed in one night. The principal who didn't value teachers. 3 days later, the school board statement. In light of recent events, Robert Pierce has voluntarily accelerated his retirement effective immediately. Voluntarily, we knew. Patricia and Jessica moved to Connecticut within the month. Jessica's partnership track postponed indefinitely. She took a role at a small real estate firm. No more education clients. Her LinkedIn no longer led with Harvard. Meanwhile, the Lauren Pierce Foundation received over 50 corporate sponsorship offers in week 1. Companies wanted to be associated with respecting teachers. We hired staff just to process applications. Dad spent 30 years in education, but he'll be remembered for disrespecting educators, I told Marcus, reviewing applications. He made his choice, Marcus said. Every time he introduced Jessica instead of you, every time he valued prestige over purpose. A month later, we held our first board meeting. David Chen, 5 veteran teachers, 2 parent advocates, and me. No lawyers unless they'd taught. No business execs unless they'd volunteered. Just people who understood teaching isn't less than. It's everything. The meeting took place at table 12 in the same ballroom. We requested it on purpose. From the back tables to the boardroom, Mrs. Chen smiled. From the classroom to the boardroom, I corrected. That's the journey that matters. 6 weeks after the gala, my father called. Patricia had left 2 weeks prior. The house is too big, he said. The silence is deafening. Lauren, we need to talk. We're talking now. In person. Please, I need to apologize. Do you? Or do you need forgiveness to salvage your reputation? You've become harsh. No clear. What I did was wrong, he said finally. Be specific. I shouldn't have given Jessica your position, and I shouldn't have excluded you from the VIP table, Lauren, please. You've made your point. You've destroyed everything, my reputation, my retirement, my marriage. I destroyed nothing. You did. Every choice led to that moment. I just stopped shielding you from consequences. You're my daughter. Doesn't that mean anything? It meant everything to me. What did it mean to you? Silence stretched. What do you want? Nothing, that's the point. I don't need anything from you. So you're cutting me off? I'm setting boundaries. 6 months of family therapy, a public apology to teachers, and genuine effort to understand the harm. That's ridiculous. Then we're done. Marcus turned you against me. Marcus showed me I deserve respect. You showed me you wouldn't give it. I hung up. No anger, no satisfaction, just peace. 6 months later, the foundation had awarded 127 scholarships for advanced degrees, provided emergency grants to 89 classrooms, funded mental health support for 200-plus educators facing burnout, but I still taught third grade at PS 48. "Why don't you quit? You're running a multi-million-dollar foundation," a reporter asked. "Because I'm a teacher," I said. "The foundation exists to support teachers. How can I do that if I stop being one?" We kept our modest two-bedroom. He kept the Civic. I still shopped sales for supplies, now reimbursed like every teacher who submitted receipts. The change was internal. I walked taller, spoke clearer, set boundaries without apology. Mrs. Reese Pierce. Tommy, my former student with dyslexia, now in 5th grade, ran up. "I made the advanced reading group. That's amazing, Tommy. My mom says it's because you taught me different isn't less than just different." My father hadn't met my terms. No therapy, no apology, no understanding. Patricia's emails went to spam. Jessica reinvented herself as a work-life balance coach online. No mention of law. But I had 28 eight-year-olds who thought I was magic. A husband who saw my worth, a foundation helping thousands, and now a baby on the way. Looking back, the lesson wasn't revenge or justice. It was recognition, not from others, but from ourselves. Your worth isn't defined by someone else's inability to see it. Read that again. Teaching isn't less than law. Caring isn't less than competing. Service isn't less than status. These are different paths, not different values. The hardest boundary I set wasn't with my father. It was with myself, against self-doubt and internalized criticism. Marcus didn't save me that night. He revealed what was already true. My work mattered. The kids who learned to read were as important as any merger. The foundation grew beyond anything imagined. But what makes me proudest? Last week, one of my former students became a teacher. "Mrs. Pierce, you showed me teaching is a superpower." It is. To every teacher reading this, you shape minds, build futures, catch children when they fall, and teach them to fly. That's not ordinary. That's extraordinary. My father and I haven't spoken in 8 months. Maybe we never will. Family isn't blood. It's respect. It's the people who see your worth when you doubt it. It's the husband who builds an empire to honor your work. It's the students who write 10 years later. For anyone facing similar dismissal, family, friends, or colleagues who diminish your choices, remember, their inability to see your value doesn't diminish it. Their salary yardstick doesn't define it. Their discomfort with your joy doesn't destroy it. Set boundaries with love and hold them with steel. Be celebrated, not tolerated. Be valued, not compared. Demand respect for the path chosen, especially when it serves others. Sometimes the universe gives you a Marcus, someone who sees, values, and, when needed, reveals the truth about your worth. But even if you're standing alone at table 12 while others sit at VIP, your worth isn't determined by a seat assignment. It never was. Thank you for listening. If this touched you, subscribe and hit the bell. Stories like this come every week. Have you had to choose between family approval and self-respect? What would you have done in my situation? Teachers, what's the most dismissive thing someone said about your profession? Let's celebrate each other in the comments. You deserve to be valued for who you are, not who others want you to be. Until next time, stay strong and keep setting those boundaries.